So today's event is Gohan and mushrooms and roots. Oh my! And we're off to make a bento. This is the second in our rice series. How many of you went to our last event last year where we made onigiri? Okay, a few of you. All right. Today we hope to continue that theme, but this time talk about mixed rice dishes, which is a classic comfort food, and hopefully the goal of our series is to help all of you become comfortable, and our goal of this whole lecture series is really helping to engage all of you in the evolving Nikkei, Japanese American culture, and inspire you to try traditional dishes as well as experiment with some of the newer trends in Japanese cooking and Japanese American cooking, because there's a lot that is Americanized. And if you don't already feel comfortable, to infuse that in your cooking repertoire and pass on those elements to younger generations in your families, so that these wonderful dishes that we've all enjoyed as we were growing up, or as our kids were growing up, don't get lost. So how many of you cook Japanese rice dishes at home regularly? Okay, a few of you, all right. Are you willing to try? Yep. Okay, so that's what we're all about today. So we're going to be starting by sharing some ways to mix up your rice, and we'll be demonstrating Takikomi Gohan and Maze Gohan, which I'll explain a little bit later, and then demonstrating ways to enhance the appeal of your bento boxes. That you can have the rice, and you can have your side dishes, but a little visual appeal is going to make it more enticing for you or your family members to enjoy. So we're going to demonstrate some of those, and then after we do those demonstrations, then all of you will have the opportunity to get hands-on experience making your own maze gohan and making some decorative elements with your bentos. Okay, so first of all, for those who did not go to our onigiri event, we also did have a handout that has a review of some of the basics of rice. So if you want to go through those handouts, we're talking about the different kinds of rice, long grain, medium grain, and short grain rice. Long grain rice is what's used by the most people in the world, in a lot of Southeast Asian countries and other parts of the world, Europe, a lot of long grain rice. Short grain rice is the gold standard of Japanese rice, and medium grain is what was developed in the U.S. And is the most commonly used rice for the Japanese American community and Japanese cooking in the U.S. And then when you look at all of the different kinds of rice. Oh yes.
Is mochi rice different from short grain rice, or?
Mochi rice is a separate kind of rice. Much more. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just want to make sure it wasn't short grain.
Well, it is a short grain, but it's much more glutinous. It's sticky rice. Do you have any questions about the different types of rice? So we'll be using today some brown rice, which is a Haida type rice, which is brown rice, but it's easier to cook and easier to digest than whole grain brown rice. But if you go to a Japanese market or look at rice, there are all kinds of different gradations. And one of the things we talked about in the last session also is that a lot of the rice now is no wash. So you'll see that you don't actually have to wash that rice because of the milling process has taken care of that. And so you just soak. But one of the key points is that soaking the rice is one of those very important things. Okay, and so if you have any questions about the handout, please, ask any of us. But hopefully that gives you some background into the basics of rice. And one of the points that we talked about briefly but didn't go into detail on was resistant starch. And so I'm going to turn it over to Susan, who's going to talk about resistant starch.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Well, I just wanted to say that, it's such a shame that they've developed rice that you don't have to wash, because we all know that washing rice is like a really key part of our culture. But let's see. So one of the things about rice, there are a lot of things written about rice that talk about how healthful it is. And one of the things that it's very easy to digest, especially the fully milled white rice. It's very easy to digest. But the negative part of that is that it goes into your bloodstream faster, so your blood sugar could spike, right? So people who are at risk for type 2 diabetes, or who already have type 2 diabetes, should think about that a little bit. And one of the developments that's, I don't know how recent, but I've heard about this for about the last 5 years, and it was just recommended to me by a Kaiser dietitian, is the concept of resistant starch. So there are ways that you can change the chemical structure of rice and also pasta and potatoes into starch that's harder to digest, which means that the sugars go into your bloodstream much slower. Okay, so this is called resistant starch once you hit. Okay, so white rice has a very high glycemic index, and that's the measure of how fast your blood sugar will go up. Highly digestible. I already said that. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so this is kind of technical, but so the fast digestion of the white rice happens in your small intestine, and so resistant starch gets slowed down there, and it turns into, it gets fermented into short chain fatty acids, okay, that actually is beneficial to your gut bacteria, so it's good for your whole digestion. Okay, so this is how you do it. Oh, and I guess before I go any further, I'm clearly not giving you a lot of detail about resistant starch, but it's very easy to find articles about it. So you can Google resistant starch, and you can find either scientific articles or nutrition-related articles about it. But this is how you do it. So you cook the rice, then you cool it in the refrigerator, and then you heat it up. And so after you heat it up, it's not exactly the same as, fresh out of the rice cooker, but it's pretty good, so you can do that. So there's a lot of different opinions about how long. So I've read some articles that say if you just cool it at room temperature for 10 hours. Some people say you have to refrigerate it for 12 hours. So I don't know, I think it's safest to just refrigerate it. And so what that means is, it's easy to make rice the day before, is just the tip. So anyway, good luck on that.
Okay, so now we're going to start to talk about mixed rice dishes. One of the easiest ways to include more vegetables into your diet is to add those vegetables to your rice, whether it's while you cook it or afterwards. It makes a nice one-pot dish. It's easy as an accompaniment for a simple entree. You don't have to have a separate vegetable dish as well as in addition to your main course. So there are two main types of mixed rice. And some people, interchange the terminology, but if you'll advance to the next. Takikomi means, to cook into. So these are rice dishes where the additional ingredients are cooked with the rice, usually with some kind of a broth or seasonings that go with it. And the flavor from the items that you add, soak into the rice. Whereas the bottom picture shows maze gohan, where you make the rice and then you mix ingredients into the rice after it's cooked. So, when you would use the, one or the other, depends on what ingredients you're trying to add, and how long each of those ingredients takes to cook. Because if you're going to do a takikomi, you want all of the items that you're adding to cook at the same time that the rice cooks. So if you have things that are very sensitive to heat and don't need to be cooked very much, then they'll get overcooked if you put them in a takikomi. But if you, have things that are require a long time to cook, you would probably either need to, pre-cook them a little bit to add to the takikomi, or, again, cook them separately and make maze. Right? So you want to cut the ingredients and use the ingredients that are similar cooking times, so that everything comes out together. Let's see. So I'm going to start with the takikomi, and the key tips for making takikomi gohan is you wash, or if you need to, and soak the rice first for 30 minutes before you add any seasonings or ingredients. So the rice gets a chance to absorb the liquid, because if you add like dashi that has salt and sugar in it, then that inhibits the ability of the rice to soak up that seasoning. So here I have pot of rice that's been washed and has soaked and has been drained. So then you drain it all, and then when you're ready to cook, so this is that genjimai, it's a haiga brown rice. So I'm going to add now a mixture of dashi, which I soaked mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, and got the dashi from that. So these are the ingredients we're going to be adding: are shiitake mushrooms, some gobo, carrots, abura-age, which is the inari skins, some konnyaku, and chicken. And what? So this is a chicken, chopped chicken thigh meat. So all of these things have been chopped to be, small pieces that are going to be able to get cooked in the time that it takes the rice to cook. So after the rice has been soaked and drained, you're going to add this dashi mixture. So it has the shiitake dashi, and then we've supplemented that with some kombu dashi and some shoyu and some mirin. And we're going to add enough of that for your rice cooker, for the amount of rice that you're cooking, right? So this is 4 cups of brown rice. I'm going to add enough to make 4 cups of dashi, water to the 4-cup line, and then the way you add your ingredients, and I forgot to get my gloves. Sorry.
Okay, it'll cook away.
Yeah, it will cook away. Okay, so the other key is even though it is called mixed rice, you don't actually mix in the rice when you put it in the rice cooker. So you want to layer the additional items gently on top. So, okay, go with yours. All right, so I'm going to start with the chicken, and you want to start with the item that takes the longest to cook, and the things you want to make sure are fully cooked. So, add the chicken, gently lay that on top, and then I'm going to start with some of the harder items like the gobo, and layer that on top. And one of the key things is you want to have ingredients on top, but not so much that, that it makes it more stuff with rice instead of rice with stuff, which is a hard thing because I tend to put too much in. So I'm going to put the carrots in next. So the tougher items go in. Okay, and then I'm going to put the konnyaku, again, chopped pretty small. Layer that in too. The shiitake. And the aburage. And then you turn it on. So one of the key things is once you add all of the dashi and all of the toppings, you want to cook it right away. So you don't let it sit again, right? Because the rice is already soaked in the juices. Yes?
The abu-age, do you blanch it?
Yes.
Get the oil out first and
Yes.
then put it? Okay.
Yes. So the prep work on these, whatever you're going to add is what takes the time. Yes?
After you soak your rice, you drain out the extra water?
You drain all the water, right?
You don't leave it in?
No. So it doesn't matter how much water you use to soak it in, just enough that it's covered, because you're going to drain it, and then when you cook it, you're going to cook it in this dashi. So that's why the flavor is there.
It's okay. I understand English stuff. Sorry.
Okay, so this is a classic takikomi gohan, with chicken and mushrooms and root vegetables. But you can add all kinds of ingredients, into your takikomi gohan, whatever you like. So if you're vegetarian, you can omit the chicken. You can use shiitake and kombu dashi instead of any bonito, fish-based broth. You can also, use gluten-free shoyu if you have gluten issues. And you can use any combinations of, mushrooms that you like. Hijiki is a popular item. Bamboo shoots, chestnuts, sweet potatoes, peas, fish, beef, and clams. And my personal favorite is matsutake in season, right? So you can do whatever is seasonal and make it your own. But there's some very basic techniques. You can just add one item, multiple items. But it's a nice way to have kind of a full meal, or a balanced meal with more vegetables and other items mixed in with your rice.
Yes, matsutake.
Matsutake is a mushroom.
Pine mushroom.
Pine, yeah, that grows under like white pine.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And it's generally available in the fall.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
I have a general question about konnyaku. I know it's 0 calorie, but it's also almost 0 nutrition. And I just wondered if it's used as a filler, because I know it absorbs the flavor from whatever you're cooking. But do you know if it was used as kind of a filler in the past, or?
That's a good question. I don't know. I always thought of it as kind of being having some fiber, but
Yeah,
maybe
it's supposed to be like
like to cleanse your intestines. Yeah, but we'll look into that. Yeah, but it is popular, and I think it's because it's a root, and I think it has a lot of fiber. Okay, any other questions? Okay, and I have a pot of rice cooking, but we have had some technical difficulties here this morning with the gas stoves and then with the power for a bit. So we'll open the takikomi gohan when we get into a little bit later in the program. And then so obviously when you open it up, when you leave it for like 5 or 10 minutes after it has cooked, if you leave it too long, you'll develop more koge in the bottom. So it gets, because it has the dashi and the shoyu and the sugar from the eating, It tends to caramelize on the bottom, which is one of the appealing things of Takikomi Gohan. So you'll see some black or dark charred looking pieces on the bottom when you mix it up. But so we'll show you that when we get there. Okay, and then when you're ready to eat, so you mix up the rice, and then you can add, garnishes like green onions, or what we're going to use, or if you have mitsuba, which unfortunately I couldn't find, so you can use that to garnish. Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to turn it over to Kathy. She's going to talk about Mase. Sorry, Sekihan.
Jane, are you going to cook that rice now?
Yes, I'm going to go plug it in right now. So you have the handout. It has the ingredients. It's the shiitake mushroom. It's the shiitake mushroom water, soaking water, and then shoyu and mirin and dashi.
Soaking water for the shiitake.
Shiitake. And if you don't have that, you can just use, just pure dashi powder.
Just so you end up with this stuff.
Yes.
What about sodium content?
What about what?
Sodium.
Well, so if you want low sodium, you can use low sodium shoyu. But Japanese cooking in general is kind of high on sodium. That's a hard thing to avoid.
Okay, now we're into the Sekihan part of our program. How many of you know what Sekihan is? Okay, great. How many have made Sekihan? Oh, excellent. Have you made it in an Instant Pot? Okay, well, mostly people do them steamed traditionally or in the rice cooker or stovetop, but and in our recipe there's a link to Just One Cookbook, which has wonderful, videos and things about making stuff. So that's what you can do. But today I thought we would try to learn how to do it with the Instant Pot because it's so simple. I've actually never made sekihan before. So when I found out I was looking at different ways to make it, I thought this would be fun to share today. So fun facts about sekihan, it literally just means red rice. And I guess in feudal Japan, everyone was eating red rice. And then as they developed, kind of the white rice, they moved to that, but they wanted to continue to have these, the red rice for all their celebrations and stuff. So they came up with this idea of cooking the azuki beans with the rice, and then you could still have the good rice, but maintain that nice red coloring and everything. And many people may not know this, but there's an organization kind of devoted to promoting sekihan in Japan. And so November 23rd, mark it on your calendars, is Sekihan Day in Japan. Of course, you can go to any convenience store apparently in Japan and get this little musubi sekihan. So anyway, so you can go to the next one. So okay, so traditionally, you got your rice, and then your beans, and then these are for later. Little salt and black sesame seeds. Okay. So, what we'll do today, thank you. So since we did have that power thing, luckily I cheated and I made mine this morning at home. So we will have a kind of an aha moment. But oops, sorry. So the idea with the Instant Pot, and depending on what model you have, it pretty much works the same. I have two different ones here. But it's so easy. You just go in, and you can use the measuring cups the rice cooker measuring cup, or a regular one, but just keep your proportions about the same. So here's a 1/4 cup masala of azuki beans. And then if I had a sink here, we would go there and we would, wash it and everything. So that's all you do. You throw in your Instant Pot. And then, this is what I couldn't believe. This is the only water you're going to add. So then you go proportionally, you just do 2.5 cups water. And there we go. So then you would just go ahead and you close, and all the instructions are in your handout. But you would go ahead and then you do that. Make sure it's sealed so it pushes, it fills with the pressure. And then you would go in, and it's so great. You just put it on low pressure, and you do it for 15 minutes, and you turn it on, and then the beans cook. And this is like, in other traditional things, you usually have to cook the beans before, cook them twice, save the water, make sure you have all that nice red water to cook the rice in. So this is it. You're just going to do that. You're going to let it cook up. The beans cook up pretty soft, and not really soft. If you want them really soft and mushy, you could just add time to your Instant Pot. But the 15 minutes I've been playing around with different times seems to keep them firm and yet not crunchy. So if you like crunchy, I guess you could cook it even less. Anyway, okay, so then the next step, let's say we'll pretend that this has been cooking for the 15 minutes.
Release time?
Oh yeah, thank you. You saw in the notes, but yeah, you don't let them, after it stops cooking, you do that quick release. And then we'll pretend this happened. So we do the quick release, and then what you want to do too is you've got kind of that nice red from the beans, and you're just going to stir it around a little bit just to make it all even. And then you have this really nice base of red colored water with the azuki beans. What you do then is you get, again, it's all proportional. You have your 2 using the same measuring cup. Then you just have your 2 cups of rice. And then you do the usual thing that Jane was talking about too, or Susan was talking about. You don't have to do this you have to wash. So you're doing this until the water's clear. But mochigomi rice is a lot more delicate, so you don't want to be really rough with it. But you do go ahead and you wash it till it runs clear. And you do this while your beans are cooking. And then, after you've washed it, and everything's just sitting there, it's still kind of hot because you've done a quick release, but you've got the beans that are kind of soft and you have the red water, and then you just throw in, and this is important, I forgot to do this once when I was doing several batches, but, here it is. You do want to put in, at this point, a teaspoon of salt. We're not going to really do that, but we do that, and then you, because I'm going to make this later, and then we stir it around, and then pretend we're going to throw the rice in, the washed rice, and that's it. You just kind of gently stir it together. You put your lid back on. You set it still to low pressure, and just 3 minutes, if you can believe it. I know. And then, this time though, when the pressure cooking stops, then you would, you let it sit in the pot. You do that natural release, if you know anything about Instant Pot. But even if it releases earlier, always let it sit for 20 minutes. And then, ta-da, then you just have, it's amazing, then you just have this, it's the color. So then you'll fluff it up, and the beans might kind of rise to the top, so you just kind of carefully mix them in. But you do that, and then this is really nice. A lot of people put the black goma on. Just one cookbook, she puts a little salt in there too. I think it's nice. It kind of just gives it a little extra flavor. There. And then you have your sekihan. And it's about total maybe an hour and 15 minutes. But the thing is, you don't have to keep going back and forth. You just let it sit, and that's it. So I think that's it. Any questions? Oh, and so this So this will hopefully motivate you to get your Instant Pot out of the garage, wherever it's sitting. Okay, we're all done.
Okay, hi. My name's Ladonna Yumori-Kaku. I volunteered like the rest of the people. We're not professional, but so this is the edamame rice. I'm going to tell you I got inspired at the Palo Alto Buddhist temple. They did the recipe a little bit different. They used the ochazuke mix, and they used it with the brown mushrooms, the slimy ones, but my husband didn't like that, so I adapted it. Plus, this is $4, you know, kind of a thing, and so it's really easy. I'm getting 3 cups of rice, cooked rice. So when I say that, I want 3 packets. It's this packet. Have you ever used it before? Ochazuke mix. So easy. Usually if I'm at home, I'm snipping it off one at a time, but the power of magic. Here we go. Now, make sure that when you go to the grocery store that you get the flavor you like, because this one, I don't read Japanese, but I can see that looks like a shrimp or something. Okay? There's also a wasabi one and a ume one, so whatever you like. They sell it in a 3-pack or whatever, and then there's an 8-pack. So I use 3 of them. I sort of experimented, like 1 cup to 1 packet. You don't have to be exact. I mean, if you have less rice. If you have leftover rice, I would microwave it. Just keep it warm, so it's a lot easier to do. I like edamame, so then I've got 1 cup. I just use the frozen one. Oops, I had a bag. A frozen one, usually I'll throw this in my microwave, and I've got a steamer, so it's about 5 minutes to cook it. I only took 1 cup out today, and I put the rest of it in the freezer. We're going to do something different. I had said, you know, do the furikake. Oops, this is the furikake. And you stir this. So how much? You know, if you got a little bit, it's okay. So it's pretty green. I'll blame it on my husband, but he likes shoga. So I add this, and so it's whatever. So that's 1/3 of a cup. So you want to add this last because otherwise your rice is going to be all pink. So you don't want that necessarily. And so pretty much, gosh, this is 5 ingredients or less, right? So here's your recipe to take. Now you can serve this in a bowl, and I brought example, you know, tray, Japanese dish, or this kind of a dish. If you know that you're a potluck and you don't have a lot of table space, go up instead. And then what I learned is to serve it, I decided this was a good one because, you know, a lot of people, we eat Spam, but some people are vegetarian, so this is a good alternative. And so I decided to play with it, and I used my handy-dandy sushi mold. I just would mix half of this, because you don't have that Spam layer, so it's kind of just eyeballing it rather than, you know, getting it exact. Does everybody have a press? No? If this plastic one is easier to use than the acrylic one. Okay, because the acrylic one, it sort of sticks unless you know. So I bought mine years ago. I think I bought it at Santos. It was like $10 or something. I don't know what the price is now. So with the recipe too, you can be creative. If you don't like edamame beans, you can try those brown mushrooms. It's the slimy ones, the little ones that are, well, that's the best way to describe it. Enoki. So it's already seasoned. Okay. Okay. So I was on Weight Watchers, so I make Weight Watchers kind too. So not as much rice. Press down. Oops. Push through. So this one isn't as big as, say, like a Spam musubi, because I know you add more rice. I was just doing this as a demonstration, so you can looks a little lighter. But I like doing this. It's a good party dish. Looks a little strange because people aren't used to seeing so much green, you know, edamame. But I tell people it's vegetarian, so then they'll try it.
Christmas.
Oh, Christmas, okay, thank you. Yes, but when I served it at our Christmas, people just sort of stared at it because they were used to Spam. So I had to say, try it, but you know. Anyway, okay. So I was trying to do half a thing of it, but anyway. So we'll just make a bigger one so you can see it. I thought I would use a glass bowl, but it was too heavy to bring, so this is why we have this. Okay. So, like I said, this was the recipe I used. You know, if you don't have exactly a cup of edamame, try to spread these out so it's not all edamame city here. And I can tell this one's a biggie. Okay, where's my... I do this at home all the time. This is my first public one. Okay, I did it by Zoom. Let's go. So this is non-Weight Watcher size. Okay, a few more points if you're familiar with Weight Watchers. And so I had a knife here. I would normally let it sit a little bit so it cools, so I'm going to show you the next one. So the next one, when I had it at the Buddhist temple, they served it with a packet of seasoned nori. So you could do it that way, or you could see just a few minutes on your time, and now I'm going to slice it. So it will serve well that way. Okay, since I have rice, and you heard the word maze, just mix up. This one is a layered skimono. Okay, about that much. So what we do is, like, if again, warm rice is best, but if you have yesterday's rice, just microwave it so you can get a little bit warm, and then we're going to pat it down. It's nice to have an assistant here. Okay. You could do it with brown rice too, you know, whichever you have. So we're going to just not smash it, but, and then I'm going to put the skimono. So I have some yellow skimono, and then I have the, sorry, not takuan, and then the red one is, no, it's the other one. Well, anyway, the one that tastes good with curry. Okay, you could use rakio, the green one, you know, whatever, the eggplant. Okay, so we have this down. Okay, so you would press down on it, and what I like about this one is I'm going to put. You can see how delicate. No portion. Just spread it around, right?
What did you just put in there?
Takuan. So I cut it up. So I actually had slices, but if you can afford it, they have the ones that are already cut up, but it's more expensive and it's sold by the ounce. So it would be okay if you had only half takuan and you had, you know, your other skimono. So you have that sweet taste and you have a savory taste. So I do this, and again, put a cover. So sprinkle that on generously. Okay. Sorry. Susan, can I ask you again? Okay. So we're going to add another layer of rice. So this one, what's nice about it is that if you serve it at a potluck and you have it, and you know how, oh, there's a little bit left, put it in the refrigerator, and you can have it with green tea, hot tea, or chazuke. You already have your skimono in there, right? So today I'm going to add some eggs. I've never done that, but hey, we'll go with it. Any questions that I can answer so far? No? Quick and easy? Mm-hmm.
The slimy mushrooms you talked about,
Enoki?
is that the stuff in the jar?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't know how much it is now, but like I said,
Not cheap.
yeah, that's why I went to this. So, you know, the packet, you can even do this with hot water and add it to the leftover. I gave my cousin's wife credit because she learned this at a basketball, you know, the potlucks and stuff like that. So I think the parents liked it. Yes, thank you. So again, it doesn't have to be even because we just covered up. Okay, so you'll see. So I have the red Sugiyama. Oh, make sure you drain it, otherwise you're gonna have pink rice again. You could have had more. Sometimes I've added edamame, but I already have edamame. And then this I've never done before is adding the eggs. I will tell you this is Yumori-Kaku's, they froze it. So they had that seal bag. So you could have the red and white, and then the power of furikake. Did I forget to put it on the first layer? Okay, so depends on how much you have. So look, how pretty. All right, look. Oh, with the family, I used to just do half because the kids didn't like the shoga, you know, so you can be decorative. But voila, another 5 ingredients or less, and it's heavy, but like I said, it's a good potluck dish. And then what I'll do is just cut this. You can see, oh, normally I'd have water to cut. So we cut in half, cut that in half. So I'll eyeballing it. Okay, who's gonna try this, right? Your recipe. So there you go. So you probably could get your edamame more even if you spent more time with it, but it's okay. It's okay. It all tastes, right? Okay, any other questions I could help? Oh, I let my husband eat the ends.
Only hands.
Well, yeah, because you have to, you know, kind of like this one. Sort of not so nice looking. Okay. All right, any questions?
Does it taste good?
I hope so. We've been eating it for how many years? Oh, yeah. Make sure you get good nori. This is, sorry, it's split. And this is the smaller one. Like I said, you can do this, but I guess it's just getting people to try it at the beginning because they're not, what is that, you know? I worked at a college, so those students would eat anything, but you know, the vegetarian was nice because a lot, even though I like Spam, they don't eat it. So if I were to serve this, you know, I'd do this way. Oh, you could be decorative. Crisscross it. And then I've got the smaller pieces here, so if people wanted a smaller piece. All right, so I hope I don't flip it over, but kind of like that it looks like. Okay, so you're going to have the opportunity to make your own rice dish, and you can make whatever. We've got edamame. We don't have this mix, but the furikake works. Oh, and I wanted to share with you, in Hawaii, I just got back, I noticed that they had yuzu furikake. So kind of a citrus maybe taste. If I forgot to mention, they have ume, you know, make sure they have fish or shrimp. What else? Oh, wasabi. So sometimes I'll use wasabi furikake too. All right. So have fun with this. So again, you can serve it in the bowl. Oh, and then have the nori, so you pinch it. And the nice thing is, look, I'm going to take this to a potluck, and it only takes up this much space rather than a whole tray, right? And then you can put a cover on it, And guess what? When you're done, good to take leftovers in, okay? All right, no questions for me?
That was 2 cups of rice?
3 cups.
3 cups
The
of rice,
recipe, yes. For the for the layered rice, that was the recipe afterwards. I think, did I give you a roundabout suggestion?
You said 5 cups.
5 cups, right. So if that was the case, you know, I do like 2.5, so you can see it's pretty heavy, you know, in that sense. So,
You said cups, is this the rice food cups?
no, I use American, but when you cook, yeah,
Standard.
right. And you could go higher if you have a bigger dish, you know, in that sense. But I like to have some rice, because otherwise it's too much skimono, you know. Okay. All right, any other questions? All right.
Do you ever use sushi vinegar?
No. It's just, yeah. We'll keep that to sushi. This is easy, 5 ingredients or less, okay? All right, let's see, Susan and Susan are next, and they're gonna do decorative. So we need to do a little transition here. We are Susan. I'm Susan Hayase, and this is Susan Nakamura. And so the other demonstrations showed you how to make something really tasty and nutritious. So what we're going to show you is just something very superfluous but fun. Okay, so you can make decorative garnishes that are just kind of fun, and you put them on your bento and it just makes it seem special. I'm sure you've seen those things on the internet where some incredible Japanese mother makes these artistic, you know, like Pokemon characters, and you know, we're not going to show you how to do that. That's the next lesson. But so one thing that you can do is you can take takuan or vegetables like parboiled carrots and cut them into with special cookie cutter things that you can get at Daiso. So Susan's going to show you how to do that. Yeah. Yeah, so those are they're like miniature cookie cutters, and it's not necessarily like really easy to do, but you know, you kind of play with it, and you can get a nice shape out of it. Like, what is that? That's a flower shape. Yeah. Oh, and this is something that we're going to let you do in the next section of when you make your own maze gohan, and you can make some of these. So. So you can also do that with carrots. You kind of have to get a big carrot, you know. So there are different sizes of those little cookie cutters, and yeah. So even for the small cookie cutter, you kind of need a big carrot. So. Yeah. So let's see. Also, Susan's going to show you. We have some nori here, and you can use nori to decorate onigiri. You know, like you can make little shapes. You can. There are punches that actually are marketed as being for this purpose, but they're kind of just like craft punches. You know, so. And it's not really clear to us how some of these fancy bentos with the like really detailed, like, you know, you've seen those little pandas and that kind of thing. Because when you cut the nori, unless you're choosing kind of a pretty large shape, it seems like the nori kind of crumbles a little bit. So I kind of think that this is like one of those artisanal things. You get your exact, you know, anyway. But there are some. You can play around with it. So we're going to give you a sheet of nori, and also you can use some of these little punches and try things out. Yeah, they're kind of, anyway, it's like, you know, you have to get used to it. But we're going to have some of those that you can try. Oh yeah, show them the heart. The heart works the best.
Anyway, a little naughty heart, which nobody can see from there, but take our word for it. It looks really good. Did any of you guys do this when you were little kids? I never did this. I think this is a new thing. Yeah. But anyway, so even if you didn't grow up doing this, you have the chance to do it now. But I think it's kind of like arts and crafts. Yes?
In arts and crafts, we have difficult paper on the shelf. We put it on top of a sheet of copy paper.
Oh.
Cut the two together and you get a cleaner cut.
Oh.
Maybe it'll work with the naughty.
Ah, that's a good tip. I don't know if people have heard that. Doing crafting with delicate paper, if you put it on top of a sheet of regular like copy paper and punch them both together, it cuts better. Yeah, so that's a really good tip. Oh yeah, you do a lot of the card making, huh? So, yeah. So, okay, well that's really good tip. Anyway, that's something for people to explore. So another thing, so somebody had a question about konyaku. So there's decorative things you can do with konyaku. Does everybody know how to do, have you heard of the little konyaku twist? Yeah, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna give people a chance to do that in case they haven't done it. So this is a slice of konyaku, and it's about like 3/8 of an inch thick. Usually you boil it, you can boil it in water or in dashi, and it doesn't look any different before or after you boil it, so we're not really sure why you do that. But anyway, I really love konyaku personally. But what you do is you cut a little slit right in the middle, like maybe it's about 1/3 of the length of the slab of konyaku, parallel to the length of it, right? And then you, oh, I have to make it a little bit bigger. You twist it, you put part of the konyaku, the end, and you shove it through that hole. It's very rubbery, so it's easy to drop it. But you end up with this really interesting twisted konyaku. So anyway, when I was growing up, my mother showed me how to do this, and I always thought this was really fun. So you're going to get a chance to do that too. So then the pièce de résistance is the Bento bunny. Okay, so there's actually this a video that shows like about 10 or 12 different things you can do with kamaboko. Okay, and they were all really complicated. But the easiest one, and it's so cute and it kind of goes with our theme, is you can make a rabbit. So there's a piece of kamaboko, and you know it's like 3/8 of an inch or quarter of an inch. What you do is you take your knife and you start cutting the pink part, and you go about 2/3 of the way around, so that, oops, I guess I didn't do it very good. Okay. So it's, see that? It's loose. Okay. And with a special wrist action, you shove that end underneath, and you have a bunny. So this is, so you're going to have a chance to make these. So, and then if you want to be really clever, you can poke a little hole in the kamaboko, and we have some black sesame that Kathy brought, and you can stick it in for an eye. Anyway, so this could be really fun if you're making a bento for a little kid, especially. So, anyway, any questions?
What's the cheap?
Which one? Oh, you know what? We think that's sriracha. Yeah. Thank you. So, anyway, thank you.
So, my name's Tom Izu, and you've all been very patiently and politely sitting here, listening to other people. So now we're going to have a chance for you to talk and to get some exercise. But don't worry, it's like a mixture, but you don't have to walk around the room or do dance or anything like that. The kind of exercise we want you to do is more your chance to talk and talk amongst yourselves and your tables. Because a really important part of our lecture series, we feel, is cultural transmission. That's what we call it. And we feel that all of us have to participate in it because it's a collective process. If our community is going to learn from the past generations and the current generations to have something to pass on to people, we have to share all of our stories. And some of you already know this, but a lot of our stories have a big range, very diverse. None of us in this group, although most people are much more skilled and knowledgeable than I am about a lot of things about Japanese culture, but none of us are experts. So it's the same with you. There are stories that we'd like you to share with amongst yourselves, because some of those stories might seem very mundane, but sometimes those mundane stories are the most profound. And we want you to talk about, these are just suggestions, like if you learned how to cook rice, who taught you? You know, if you didn't know how to cook rice, then so what's that about in your family? Somebody else did. Share your favorite maza gohan or mixed rice dish or something similar. And this is an important one you can talk about. I'm going to just really quickly share, when I was growing up, my mom did most of the cooking. But now and then my mom went to a PTA meeting, so Dad got to cook. And so what did Dad do? He took out these cans of smoked clams, and he took some old rice, and he dumped them in the rice and mixed them up, and anything else that was around, he dumped in there. And as little kids, we thought, wow, this is so cool. It's not like Mom makes. But in a sense, he was making this. It was like maza gohan in a way. Okay, I mean, you understand what I'm saying? So even if you did not do a Japanese, very specific dish that you can trace back to Japan, there's probably things you did. And within that, there's a story probably in there about your family or somebody. So we want you to share. And this next short little period, the second little break, if you can talk amongst yourselves, I think about the next 10 minutes or a little more or less. And then after that, we're going to get ready for you to do the activities. And if you're starting to get hungry, don't worry. We'll make sure you have time to try things that you can put together yourself.
And if it doesn't cook all the way, that's no big deal.
Rice cooker with Chinese flavor, the Chinese sausage.
This website, just one cookbook in general,
Yes,
really good.
She's
Really good.
I
I want to try the edamame one, because I've never...
I know, huh?
Yeah.
We're going to make a couple of the things that you saw. We're going to make the maze gohan with decorative garnishes. So, the garnishes are going to be a little bit easy. So you're going to nominate someone from your table, and there are these cutters in the back. And there's a big one and a little one. So every table gets a large one and a small one. Then you're the person that you choose to go get these things, you may want to pick the speediest person at your table, because there are these wonderful cutters, these punches, and they have a Mickey Mouse, they've got a duck, a bear. So if you've got your eye on something, you better pick someone fast to go and get your punch. So anyway, we've got that. Yes, yeah, because could you imagine, how many people saw, what was that game? Where they had to lick the back? Oh, Squid Games. Yeah, we're not playing Squid Games, so you don't have to lick and try and figure that out. So, so you can kind of mob me. I'm gonna just stand here. So, I guess I can be a traffic cop now. So anyway, so the big ones and the small ones are up here. And then the punches, we're going to make the maze gohan. I can't read anything because I need to have cataract surgery in a couple months. Anyway, so everything is here. All the ingredients are over there. And I'm going to put a shameless plug in for filling out your evaluation form. We have these wonderful die-cut stickers. This is because the Bento Bunny, that's the concept today. And it was designed by Ryan Kawamoto, who is our former ED at UI Kai. So if you fill out your evaluation form, you are the proud owner of one of these stickers, and you will be, your friends will be envious and everything else. So you'll definitely want to fill out that form. Any questions before we begin?
So yes. Speedy to get a cutter, but we have to actually cut it and bring it back, or how does that work?
No, bring it back to your table.
Oh, just bring it back to the table.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 cutters that everybody on your table will use.
I see.
Yeah, but if you feel like you've got a high demand one, like the Mickey Mouse, I know one table for sure is like I am the Mickey Mouse. I'm sure if you ask to borrow it, they will share. Well, I don't know, Ben, he may not. He may say, I'm sorry, I've got the Mickey, you're on your own. So, yeah, but anyway, you can see there's a rabbit. Anyway, so there's a lot. So, yeah, I'm sure everyone will share. And then once we do this, then we'll be eating.
So there'll be more food coming out.
Yeah.
Make your maze gohan.
Yeah, and then I guess that's when we assemble all your bento boxes. So, okay, any other questions before we start?
Are we going to be putting them in our...
Yes, I believe they're putting it in their bento box, right?
So the maze gohans, they're going to have a little tray. You're going to get a tray.
So we need to wash it.
We don't have to wash them. If you want to take your food home in the bento box, you can line it with wax paper for today, right? So that you don't have to go wash them with soap and all that stuff.
And we do have the wax paper is over on this side.
No gloves.
If you want gloves, we've got gloves.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are like on top of this. And actually, if you want me, I can wash the boxes for you too, if you want us to do that. The paper will work? Okay.
But I needed gloves.
Okay, yeah, we'll bring out some gloves. Any other questions?
And then if you want anything to drink while you're working, there's some hot water and tea bags over there, so help yourself with something to drink. You don't want to get dehydrated.
Can I get your pen?
About 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so 15 to 20 minutes roughly to do this exercise, but if we realize that people are like speedy, we'll just start bringing out lunch. So we'll keep an eye on you guys. Any other questions? Okay, let the mayhem begin. Get started.
Ta-da! A flower.
Oh, you already lined yours.
I did. Mickey Mouse for me.
Have fun.
This stuff.
I'll give you a sticker if you know. So at every event we've had, there's been one consistent thing. Any guesses? What was that? Rat bag. Close, but no cigar. Bourbon. I'm sorry, what? Oh, serving. Survey. Oh, sorry. Like, duh. Well, that is true, but I'm talking about something edible. So the thing that we've had at every single one of our events is a magnificently crafted cheese ball by Kathy. There's Kathy. She has made cheese balls with pickles inside, some that look like a fish, some that look like cheese. But so every time we have one of these events, she creates a cheese ball to commemorate the theme, and it is edible. So a lot the one that she did that looked like a fish, people didn't eat it because they thought it was too perfect. But please come up here and eat the bunny. Eat the bunny. So we're. Now that we've completed this, and I know what time the game starts, but Itadakimasu, so we're going to start to eat lunch. And so on our menu today, the yu-tofu kind of changed. Yu-tofu is supposed to be eaten warm, but as I mentioned, our stove didn't work and our microwave didn't work. So we got a little creative and we said, well, we're just going to soup it room temperature. And we had ginger, shoyu, some green onion, and what else do we have? The kind of vinegary thing. Ponzu. So we put that into a thing, and so now it's served to you room temperature. We have takikome, sekihan, maze gohan, all the garnishes, a green salad, looks really good. Of course, the cheese ball and crackers, coffee chocolate fingers, ooh, azuki bean. Ooh, that sounds very good. And tapioca. Well, for those who like azuki beans. Hello. So you'll have to just get extra of something else. Anyway. So, bon appetit. Say let's eat. Okay. Oh, and I'm also wearing a t-shirt. As you may know, UI-Kai is turning 50 this year. I've been around UI-Kai so long that I have the 20th anniversary t-shirt. So I was only 20 at the time, so you can calculate my age. But we are having our big gala event in March. So hopefully you'll all be able to join us. Any other questions?
Are you 50 now?
I am, barely. Just barely. I turned 50 last November.
And retired too.
Yes. Okay. Well, itadakimasu. Let's eat.
Food left, so please help yourself for seconds. Get some tea and relax. It's a little after 2, but I wanted to do some acknowledgements while everybody's captive here. And the first one is Just One Cookbook. Nami Chen and Just One Cookbook have been very supportive of our group. And so we, if you look at our recipes, we use a lot of her recipes and her tips and tricks and guidance. And they have also donated several hoodies as raffle prizes for us, and we really appreciate all that support. And one of these days we hope to have Nami come out, but she's very shy. She likes to do her blogging and doesn't do personal events, so but hopefully we'll get her longer days. I also wanted to acknowledge Marukai Market, who gave us a discount on the bento boxes for those of you who got those. So they've been supporting our events lately, which we hope will continue. And then J-Town Community TV, so Mike is here graciously recording this event, and it'll be posted on YouTube and J-Town Community TV. And they have, I think somebody mentioned it, they have recorded virtually all of our events, at least after the first couple. I think we might have missed a couple. But we really appreciate their support so that we can remember, and those of you who want to go review those, or if you didn't get a chance to see something and you want to look at one of our past events, you can do that. So we really appreciate all the input you've been reading. And then I wanted to acknowledge our wonderful committee members. So Kathy, I'll go in order. Bowman, Susan, where's Susan? Yay, Susan, Kathy, Sharon, Tom, Susan,
way back there.
yeah, Tom is way back there, Susan Nakamura, in the back. Vicky Takeda, who unfortunately was not able to be here today, but she contributed a lot of stuff. Oh, and Judy, who is the coordinator for our fascinators, so our fashionista. And then Margaret Tomita, who also unfortunately could not be here today, but hopefully she'll be back in the spring, and LaDonna. Thank you all for coming, and if you'll just finish eating, and then in a few minutes we'll move on to the raffle.
Yes. Decal, you cannot get it anywhere else. It was created from us.
Bento bunny.
Bento bunny. You can put it on your mug. I put it on my bento box. It is washable. Okay?
But hand wash, don't put them in the...
Oh yeah, no dishwasher.
Yeah.
Okay. And I wanted, somebody made the suggestion with that edamame rice, yes, stuff it in a inari sushi, you know? Think about that. I used to do that with somen salads too, stuff it in there. So, have fun with these recipes, you know, in that sense. Any other questions that we can answer? Question about the egg, that was from, Jane, you said Japan Food Company. And it was how many pounds of that?
3 pounds.
3 pounds. So you gotta share it with friends or whatever, but it was frozen. Okay, so not bad. Have a party, we'll come. All right, so I think we did all our acknowledgements. Anybody else have any other thoughts we had that you forgot in the demo that you wanted to share? I'll just share. Make sure you, if you use shoga, squeeze out that juice. Otherwise, you're going to have pink rice. So I was squeezing it, and I forgot to mention it probably.
Well, thanks to all of you. It was wonderful.
Again, this is for UI-Kai, you know, senior services. I hope that you are all members. If not, it's not too late to join. So, and they do have benefits. Last week, it was Shinenkai, so the meal was just...
Age limit for membership.
It starts at 60. But you can be an honorary. You know, if you want to admit you're 60, I don't think anyone's checking. Right? I want to check, this is the year of the dragon. Raise your hand if you're a dragon. It's my year, my husband's year. So that, what, are we 24 or 36? Actually, I'll be 72 this year. All right. Okay, so live well in that sense, but we're going to do the drawing. So we've got prizes donated. I know. And Sharon's going to do it. So,
Yes. So, since Just One Cookbook has been such a supporter from the beginning, I'm going to start out with one of her hoodies that she donated. So,
I just want to remind everyone, you are all winners. Yes, some of you are going to be luckier.
Okay.
Want me to read it out?
There you go. Oh, that would be nice.
All right, this is the last three. 530. 530.
Oh, yay! Thank you. Yay!
Double check.
Yes.
Oh, could I add a comment? Somebody just asked about our shirts. Again, this is a designer line for the committee members. If you want to volunteer, you can get a shirt.
Okay. Oh, that sounds good. I will do that. Let me think. Let's do the 5-pound rice. Wait. Do they fall out? Well, no. Okay. So this is California grown mochi rice, which is the short grain sweet rice. So there are different recipes that you could use this kind of rice for. And besides just mochi, you know, in the mochi machine and stuff, my sister-in-law makes a fabulous, if you like coconut, she makes a fabulous coconut and I forget what else she puts in it, but it's really good. So this is our next prize. And Jackie, if you will close your eyes and pick.
And I would just remind you, if you go, hey, there weren't enough prizes, you too could donate. I lived in my kitchen, so.
548. 548.
That's me. So, party at Sue's house, we'll
We're gonna come and have mochi rice. Okay, let's see. Which one shall we do next?
do the shoyu.
Shoyu? Okay, this is shoyu was donated by Ladonna. Oh, I forgot to tell you, mochi rice was donated by Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy.
And And this is less sodium.
Better
So
for you.
that's much better for us. Okay. Okay. What's the number?
Oh, wait. 536.
Oh,
536.
okay. 536.
No? Oh, I can show somebody in rice.
Did everyone leave?
A couple people had to leave, so.
Oh, okay.
Get on the instructors. Somebody gave me the ticket. So if you call that number, they're not here.
Say it again. 529? Oh, maybe they left. Okay. Cindy, you need to choose another one.
546.
546. Oh! Katsue-san, hi. どうぞ. Make lots of good food. Okay. And heavy. Okay, I have another sweatshirt. It's a size.
They're all medium?
Oh, are they? Okay, medium. Look, medium would fit me too.
Oh, well, you're not in there.
Okay, let's see. カズさん、1枚取ってくれる？はい、お願いします。1枚だけ。はい、どうも。Okay, and the lucky winner is 540. My pleasure, thank you. Okay, and drum roll? No. We'll do this one with your tote bag. Okay, and tote bag with yummy cookies, donated by LaDonna. And Ruby-san, will you please choose one number? Choose one number.
So I believe after this, 2 more prizes.
Okay, and the lucky number is 533. All right. Well done. Oh, yeah. Okay. Christine's going to choose a sweatshirt person. Okay. Oh, no, you got too many. Okay. And the lucky number is 547. Now you could be twinsies. Yeah. Thank you. Excellent. And Ben is also a member of the board of UI-Kai, still, right? Yeah. So, yes. So we thank him for working so hard. Okay. And our last one. I almost forgot.
Try and see.
I'm just kidding. Okay. And this one is a wonderful bag direct from Hawaii, from Foodland, and isn't that a cute bag? Yeah, direct from Hawaii. LaDonna bought that. And some yummy cookies. Ooh, yummy cookies from Big, and also sesame dressing. Ooh, that sounds yum. Okay, and Ben, choose one banana like that. If I know that, I would have went for that one. Okay, now you have to thank Ben if he chose your number. 5, 3, 6.
There were several.
Sure it's a 6?
Yes, 536. No? Oh, see what they get for leaving Ben. You have to try again.
Maybe Donna got it. What is it?
Oh, this big number. 550.
Wow.
Me.
Oh! Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Okay.
Now you have your workout. So I hope everyone turned in their evaluation so you can get the Bento Bunny decal. Please tell your family, friends to come to our next event. We don't have one calendared yet, but you're on our email list, then you'll get it, or you'll see it in the newsletter. Anything else, Jane, you wanted to say?
Take home leftovers.
Leftovers.
Yeah, you have your bento boxes.
You know, it goes great with pizza. No, a friend of mine said she put the takuan on the pizza. I went, really? Okay. Tried a new salad. That's creative. Yay, there's still cheeseball bunny without ears. Thank you, drive safe.
Thank you, everyone. Drive safely. And thank you. Please spread the word. Spread the word. Thank you. Nice meeting you as well. Yes.
Thank you for coming.